Well, parallel sounds in harmony are a great way to blend the chords of a key center and have colors in play that really bring out an interesting sound. So in this week's Guitar Blog Insider, we're going to make a study of how you can use parallel major and minor tonality in chord progressions. Well, you know, chord changes that will do this type of harmonic effect can float from major tonality to minor tonality, or they could make the shift going in the opposite direction. It really doesn't matter. Either way, it sounds really cool when you do this, and the effect of these chord changes will bring out a really great sound, you know, regardless of the method that you use to perform them. So in getting started, I've composed an 8-bar example for you. Let's make a quick study of this chord harmony. We'll go over the theory of it and everything. It's in the key of A major, and it uses the parallel tonality of A minor. When it comes to online guitar lessons, there's no place better than CreativeGuitarStudio.com. General membership to the site is always free, and paid memberships to access our step-by-step beginner, intermediate, and advanced guitar programs are offered in reasonable monthly and annual packages. Skype lessons are also available if you need more specific instruction one-on-one to discuss the finer details of your guitar playing. Sign up today at CreativeGuitarStudio.com. The shift in the quality of sound that we get when we move from a major tonality idea into a minor tonality is very cool. You want to learn how to do it and learn how to understand how it operates so you can begin bringing this into your own music. And there's really 3 things that you need to comprehend. One would be how the major key is established, where it's established in the progression, and so on. And then where the switch takes place into the minor tonality, you know, how that's functioning in the progression. And then, of course, how the turnaround or the loop function is going to operate in the progression so that we have this, you know, very smooth operation to go back into whatever tonality we started from. So let's focus on what I've put together here to show you. I have a shift in this case from A major into A minor. The top line of this 8-bar progression, the first 4 bars are all in A major, and then we have the shift, the transition takes place in the next 4 measures into the A minor tonality. So when you take a look at the changes that I've put together here, this A major 7, D major 7, C sharp minor 7, F sharp minor 7. These chords and this sound all takes place around a major color, the A major tonality. However, when we finish at that 4th measure, the first line off that F sharp minor 7 chord, and we head over to the next line, we have something taking place that's kind of out of context. And it's this B minor 7 flat 5 chord. That's a chord that comes from the tonality of A minor. It's labeled here as a 2 minor 7 flat 5. Then what happens is we move directly into more of a sound out of harmonic minor, where we have this 5 dominant 7th chord, the E dominant 7th, and that's functioning as a 5-7 chord, pulling us into our new tonal center of A minor, and that's clarified here with this A minor 7 chord. So this shift that takes place right here, you know, going through these 3 changes, that's really the second part of the equation here, because we started in major, made those transitions happen, go to minor, we have this lockdown now in the minor tonality, and then here's our final part of the whole situation here. We're going to be pulling now back over to the A major key center again. Now what's happening is, since we've established minor, we've got this 7 chord that's dominant 7th, and that's functioning directly from A minor, so that's a natural minor principle happening right there, so no big deal in that case of the G dominant 7th. However, what does happen, which is going to lead us very nicely back to our A major tonality, is we get this G sharp diminished 7th chord. Now if you're familiar with the harmony of harmonic minor key center, which is, again, you know, this is sort of the quality and sound that we had off of this 5-7 dominant chord here as well. These are chords that are both tied to harmonic minor, and it's A harmonic minor that they're coming from. They serve a great purpose in both their cases here. This 5-7 chord of E dominant 7th pulls us very nicely to our tonal center here of A natural minor. We even get a nice color off of the dominant 7th chord off of the 7th degree with the G dominant 7th coming in, still natural minor, real solid. Then we get this other shift to another chord from harmonic minor, which is the G sharp diminished 7th, which also acts as a fantastic way to take us back to the tonic of A major once again. And it's the reason it works so well is because we have the G sharp, which is part of the key of A major. So the G sharp enters, it's got a fully diminished effect to it. You know, granted that if you were in the key of basic major scale, A major, you would have a G sharp minor 7 flat 5, but in this case it's not much difference there in sound. We have a nice you know, congruent link that happens off of the root being G sharp of that chord. The fully diminished aspect of it isn't going to, you know, cause us any kind of problem really. It'll take us back around to the top of the progression here, boost our sound characteristics back over to major again, and give us a really nice progression that does this parallel shift in harmony. So now that you understand the music theory portion of this and you know what's going on in this respect, let's head to the studio. I'd like to play these changes down for you just so you really can get a great perspective together on how cool this is, how nice the sound can be when you use you know, experiments like this in chord harmony, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So let's head to the studio next and give you a chance to hear how this sounds. So let's begin here by just going through these chord changes, getting a chance to hear what they sound like, and then we'll just discuss them a little bit further afterwards. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. All right, so those are the changes. And you can clearly hear, you know, when you go through the first batch of chords, A major 7, D major 7, C sharp minor 7, F sharp minor 7, and then when that B minor 7 flat 5, that half diminished chord, when it shows up, there's a real color shift there. The E dominant 7th isn't too bad. You're starting to kind of blend ideas, but almost in the back of your mind, what you'd really want to hear is that chord coming in. But it doesn't come in. Instead, we get the minor. So it's a bit of a surprise there. So we get this shift like that, and then the rounding out of everything is really when you hear this G dominant 7 move up like that to that diminished 7th chord, fully diminished 7th, and then we can start everything all over again. So, you know, the real beauty to this is there's all kinds of ways to make these shifts happen. And, you know, the examples, you know, that I've gone through here and for this video, I mean, they're just one way to try it out. I mean, and in this video example, I'm only going major over to minor. You could try the flip side of this and experiment too with, you know, starting on the minor sounds and then shifting over so that you can bring in the color of the major sound. You can, I'm sure you'll be able to come up with all kinds of really interesting situations with this stuff. But, you know, let your ear get used to it and make sure, you know, as you go through the changes, if you don't like something with the color, and you know that you've done the changes right, immediately start experimenting with chord voicings. Maybe try some different chord voicings. You know, if this chord doesn't sound great, maybe try this one. You know, if you like this one, and then you try something else and it doesn't work, and, you know, maybe if you have this chord and then you could try this one, you know, just do some options on voicings. And the other side of it too is rhythm, you know, how you're playing your groove. You know, sometimes you got to change groove, you know, midway through just to really push the sound or the tonality shift a little bit more. So keep these ideas in mind. It's a lot of fun doing this work, and I think you're going to probably come up with some pretty cool progressions. Well, you know, if this is a new concept for you, the application of parallel harmonies in music is something that will probably take you some time to be able to get used to working into your composing. But if you follow the basic guidelines I've shown here, you'll very likely start having some success within a short period of time. I personally prefer this sound in a more jazz-oriented context, but it's completely up to you for how you'd like to apply this in your music. Just be sure to test the formatting of how you'll produce making shifts between major and minor in a number of different ways. Test with 7th chords and with triads, and most importantly, watch out for and listen for these effects in music that you enjoy. As always, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on all this in the comments section. Thanks for your time, and we'll catch up again next week on my other channel for another episode of the Guitar Blog Insider. If you want to learn the modes and get a really good understanding for how they can be used musically to write songs, play a solo, or compose melody lines, then you're in luck. My ebook, Using the Major Scale Modes, is a comprehensive manuscript outlining exactly how modes are used in respect to harmony and to compose or improvise melodic ideas. Over 50 pages of scale patterns, example progressions, and music theory all come together to create a comprehensive method on how to use the modes that's easy to understand. Using the Major Scale Modes is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com. I've got 25 years experience teaching guitar and have written a well-organized step-by-step guitar course. Head over to my website at creativeguitarstudio.com and sign up for a free membership today. Join the thousands of members worldwide who have already enrolled. There's no need to try learning the guitar on your own. Let me help you become the best guitar player that you can be.